We have with us Mr. Nalin Negi, CEO of BharatPe. So many thanks for speaking to PTI.
Thanks a lot, Mohammed. Glad to be here.
So let's start off with the outlook for 2025. It's a brand new year. How do you size up the market for 2025? And what is the outlook for growth in demand for fintech?
The fintech sector in the past has done well. Yes, there have been a little bit of bumps here and there, but what I see that there is a huge market available, huge potential. India as a country is going to do very well, and so will the fintech. There is a lot of demand, which is underserved and also not served, in fact. The way we feel it is fintechs can bridge that gap. I see a lot of scope for fintech, and specifically this year, and I would also say that don't limit us for 1 or 2 years. We have a multi-year growth story, and fintechs would do well. Yes, we will have to work with banks, NBFC, and the regulator to make sure that we reach whatever we can do.
What are those pockets of growth opportunities, since you mentioned that over the next 1 or 2 years, fintechs would not be restricted in their growth? Where are those pockets of growth according to you so far as the fintech market is concerned?
So if you look at it even now, UPI payment, when we say that it has done wonders, and but the majority of the demand is coming from tier 1 to 3 cities. Beyond that, it is still a lot of scope. There is scope to put QR, there is scope to digitize the payment. I still feel that a lot of part of the India still earns in cash and burns in cash. And there is an opportunity to digitize that. And we had actually done a survey some time back, and we had figured this out, that there is a lot of demand available in tier 3 to 6 cities. And fintechs are the ones that would go and reach out there and try to digitize that.
Let's come to the financials of BharatPe. FY24, your turnover went up by 40%. Your cash burnout reduced significantly. Your operating losses were down as well. The financials seem to have stabilized in financial year 2024. What is the path to profitability from here on?
Okay, so last year was a watershed year for us. October 23 was the year when was the month when we hit the first time EBITDA profitability. I had clearly stated at that point of time that 23-24 we may not be EBITDA profitable, but 24-25 will be EBITDA profitable. I'm happy to say that we are working towards that and should be able to achieve that without any fuss. In fact, we'll not be just able to scrape through, we'll do pretty decent. So 24-25 full year EBITDA profitability, that's what the aim is, and that's what is going to happen for BharatPe. What we've also done during the course of the year is not just focus on the numbers that, we said we'll reach EBITDA profitability. We also focused on a lot of things that are the building blocks for the future. So if I'll just take you through some of the things, beginning of the financial year, April, we had revamped our loyalty rewards. Used to be called Payback, came out with Zillion. We also launched an all-in-one device which accepts QR payments, swipe payments, and also acts as a sound box. August, we came out with a consumer app. September, we started our Invest BharatPe app with DigiGold and then FD in this. I'm hoping January we'll launch a co-branded credit card, and before the end of the financial year, we'll also launch a credit line product with the bank. So while we are focused on growth and getting the profitability, we're also ensuring that new products and new building blocks are there, which will help us to grow in the future.
Would you be able to maintain or sustain the momentum on the revenue side? 40% is what you clocked last fiscal. Is it looking, to be similar levels in FY25 and then beyond that, FY26, because we are almost nearing the end of the financial year itself?
So 24-25 will be slightly lower than the growth rate of 23-24. The next year will be higher, and I'll talk about why it is. This year, there were certain changes in the regulations as well, and we were also looking to build certain things. We held back some of the things, didn't want to get caught into some issues on the stress that one was seeing on the asset side. Happy to state that our credit loss have actually improved. We have actually come down. But I think it was a judicious decision at that point of time. Just hold back the growth a bit. Now in January, I'm going back into that, but it will not be able to cover up for everything. But we'll still grow. May not be a 40% number, maybe slightly lower. But what I definitely see is the year after this is a much bigger number because the building blocks that one has built, all these will generate revenue in the coming financial year.
So 30 to 35% for FY25?
I will look at 30, I would say that, and we'll be happy to beat that number.
So around 30% top line growth expected for FY25 because you took some judicious decisions, held back the growth a bit. But now that growth you're saying is going to get unleashed post January. FY26, do you think you'll be able to surpass the numbers that you've seen?
Definitely would beat that because I will have the consumer business also kicking, not just the merchant business side.
Okay, I'll come to the consumer business because I thought you were planning to go a bit slow on consumer business from here on, focusing more on the merchant and the credit side. But I'll come back to that in just a bit. For FY26, would a fair number be 40% or more than that? Would that be the?
I would say so.
Okay. And you said full year EBITDA profitability is something that you're likely to achieve in FY25.
Yes.
And you've already started seeing that in the first three quarters of that.
First three quarters we're EBITDA profitable.
Great.
Okay. And it's only the last quarter left now.
For BharatPe, under your leadership, what are those big things that you're likely to go after in the next 2 to 3 years?
So, Mohammed, the one is obviously the core business that we started is the merchant side of it. What we have to look at, expand this network further. And we see that tier 3 to 6 cities, there is opportunity available where we can expand the merchant base. Now, once we've expanded the merchant base, that alone does not bring any growth. It's just a GMV number. What brings revenue is the monetization of this. And the monetization happens through various means. Either facilitation of loan through NBFC, selling of devices, revenue, subscription revenue, transaction fee. Also allowing merchants, wherever we cannot facilitate a loan, provide them some other opportunity. Someone wants to take a loan against gold, someone wants to take a loan against property, someone wants to take an auto loan. We've tied up with people like that. So that will be the growth engine, it will continue to be that. I would say that this is one part of the business. The other part of the business that we have started is the consumer side. That would also come. That will start initially from tier 1 to 3, but we intend to go, just like our name suggests, Bharat. We are for the entire country, not limited to few cities in the country. What you would see in future is BharatPe expanding to these cities, not only from the merchant side, but also from the consumer side. And one thing that we focus on is that how do you integrate consumer and merchant together? See, there is a common thread, the QR. The UPI app scans the QR, and that QR is with merchant. We have to focus to bring our consumer, BharatPe consumer, to BharatPe merchants. Help the merchants to grow their GMV, help consumer to get the services from the merchant. And that's what we intend to integrate, and that's what will be the growth engine for BharatPe. We integrate this well, we've done our job, and we'll get it done. So this is from business side, but I would also say that BharatPe is not just this. BharatPe is also, the other side of BharatPe is also the employee side of it. Intend to grow that out as well, not only in terms of number of employees, but the quality of jobs we offer and the career that we offer. I would definitely like, over a period of time, we are not only known for our business, but also for the career that we offer to the people and the employees that we have. And this involves both the employee side as well as stakeholder management.
I'd be happy to come back to that bit because that is also in conversation and in slight bit of a controversy right now in terms of productivity and how it should be measured with work hours or other metrics. But before that, I wanted to just understand this a bit better. Today, what is the total base that you have of users on the merchant side, on the consumer side as well, because that's an area that you're looking to focus. Also, if I were to look at your revenue basket, what are the different verticals and what is the contribution, just to understand the business a bit better?
So merchant side, we have a 2.5 million active merchants. Okay, this is what our core is. Registered merchants 1.8 crores. But 2.5 million merchants are active merchants who are actively transacting on the devices. And they are the ones where we would like to monetize. Okay, a large portion of them have been monetized and we will continue to expand that. So I'll continue to increase the number of active merchants and then also ensure that out of the active merchants, how much are we able to monetize. Second, the part of the question was that how do you see the revenue composition?
What is the revenue basket like? If you earn 100 rupees, where does that 100 rupees come from?
So, two parts, major parts is, one is the commission fee that we earn for the loans that we facilitate. The other one is the devices side of the business, which gives the subscription revenue as well as the transaction fee. I would say at this point of time, 55-45, more towards from the commission that we earn on the merchant lending side than on the devices side. But the devices side is growing and I would say that you would see in coming years that they would become equal. There is a new revenue stream that has come up is credit card and UPI. Now you can link your card on a UPI app and scan a QR and just make a credit card payment without taking out the card and without dipping the card into the machine. So that has also started picking up as a revenue stream, and I personally believe that this will be much bigger than the devices revenue in coming years time, because this is how the future would be. No need to invest on a device. The QR is good enough to do everything.
Coming to the IPO, your financials are now streamlined. When do you see a potential public listing? And have you started working on the pre-IPO checklist on the governance side, on compliances, on financials, just to make sure that all of them are in place when you actually tap the market?
Yeah. Very good question, Mamita, and the way you asked also, I must say this. Normally the people, whosoever has asked me, he said, now that you've become a bit profitable, when are you doing the IPO? And I always say that there is a tangible and intangible part to doing the IPO. Tangible is the numbers that you see and you say that, are you ready? Yeah, number-wise ready. You can release the results into the street, etc. But the intangible part is more important, which the people don't see. It's only the management that knows. That's the corporate governance. That's whether your control systems, processes work. Are you capable to release quarterly results? Are you capable to ensure that you will be able to deliver consistent numbers over a period of time? Those are important. We feel that, yes, we are checking the boxes. Have we ticked all the boxes? No. There are still some work to be done, but we've done a lot of investment in our systems process in the last 1.5 years or so, which is not visible to people, but changed a lot of things, built in a lot of infra, got in people who are experts to do these things. At the same time, while our board has always been strong, got eminent personalities as part of the board, the management side has also been changed, because that is also important. It's this management team which will deliver the results. What we are looking at to do is a 18 to 24 months journey to do the IPO.
From today?
Yeah, from today. And depending on the market condition, but we are there. Now we're talking to people. Have you appointed anyone? No, not as yet. But are we having conversation? Yes, we are having conversation. Even at management level and the internal discussion that we have, I think this is the way to go to for us. We've done what we needed to do on the financial side. We're very much there on the control governance side, and we're investing more and more. And I think we are there in the path for doing this.
So FY 26-27 realistically is
probably
towards
that,
going to be the time when you actually go for an
I hope the market condition right. I would definitely like.
Of course, that would always be one of the factors. Are you looking out for acquisitions? Are you looking at companies and opportunities that make sense?
We always do that.
What kind of companies
Something
are of interest?
that is, either they will add value to us in a capability, and could be a small company also. Just adds value to a particular process that we do. Those kind of things also there. We're also open to ideas at other places where we can collaborate and become part. I think this is part and parcel of any company, and that's what we do. Active conversation to do anything? Not really, but having conversation, yes. That is, keep meeting people, keep looking at their business model, see that. See, there are lots of startups that started, a lot of fintechs that started. Some are doing well, some are not. Some definitely have got some edge, but unfortunately don't have the right funding and perhaps not the right resources. We're looking at them as well, that can they join us, and 1 + 1 is more than 2, why not? Are we looking at a large one? Not at the moment, but smaller ones which will add value to us and which we can acquire and merge with us and go forward.
So smaller fintech companies that add value.
And we talk to a lot of them.
Are you seeing something close in the calendar year?
Not in the calendar year, but definitely something or the other would be there. We keep looking at it. I'm having lots of conversations.
Mr. Negi, let me come to this bit. BharatPe has weathered a storm. Would you say that the period of turmoil is now behind you with the settlement with Ashneer Grover? Now that the row is settled, can you shed some light on the changes in the governance structure that you initiated back in 2022-23? And how are you building an organization now with highest levels of corporate governance, compliance, and data security?
So I would say that we're a litigation-free company at this point of time. For a startup which is just 6+ years, we've seen quite a lot and come out of it very well. And very, very proud, not just as an employee and as the person who is running it, but on behalf of every employee. We're really, really proud of what we have achieved, not just in terms of business, but considering the circumstances that we were in. As far as the governance is concerned, it's not just me who has done this. Most of the board members came before I joined. In fact, perhaps they had the role to play in getting me in. So I followed the principles that they had. We kept the litigation out of the business. That was really, my job was to focus on business, and external lawyers can focus on the litigation part of it. We achieved both of it together. Those guys were focused on their work, I was focused on my work. Yes, as an employee and as the person who's leading the team, I had my own responsibilities and duties to ensure that how do I take this forward. So like I mentioned earlier, we've done a lot of technological investment in systems, processes, etc., which are not evident, but invested a lot of things from transaction monitoring, fraud management, ALM, AML, and underwriting systems, etc. We invested a lot of money in getting these new stacks ready and ready for future. And these are the things that you'll require once you go and get listed. So we worked on all these things. And also what is very important is getting the right set of people. Okay. We had lots of people leaving us in the past. And what we have is a group of people who have a common mission and objective. Okay. We see eye to eye on what has to be done at BharatPe and what BharatPe's vision is. I am very thankful that I got a set of board members and investors who were not only looking at the future, but also were very patient while we went through this. We did changes that are required, and we're doing this. I intend to focus a lot more on the employee side of it, because finally, after having seen these 2 years, what has taken us through is the will of the people and the fact that they focused on delivering the business side. In spite of all the news that was there, people focused on that. This is a big lesson. I'm not going to let it go. I intend to invest a lot more on the people, on the management team as well. All of us have to gel together to make sure that we reach the goal that we aspire for. And I believe we richly deserve it also.
Is BharatPe looking for stake sale in Unity Small Finance Bank? What is the path to that divestment? Because what I understand is there is a regulatory requirement for you to reduce that stake to about 10% in a timeline of 2029. What is the path to that stake sale, and how much would it raise for you? And have you roped in Rothschild for it? A lot of questions, but all around Unity SFB.
Yeah, see, yes, as part of the regulation, we have to bring down a stake within 8 years of commencement of operation. I think 2.5 to 3 years have gone, another 5 years left, just over 5 years. So wouldn't want to reduce our stake on the last day. So this will be a continuous process over a period of time. It could happen, Mamita, that we find somebody really suitable and which will add value to the Unity board and Unity bank as such, then why not the entire thing? But happy for a small little stake and over a period of time. So that's what the thought process is. How much would fetch? I would say when the transaction happens, that's the best time. But I would definitely say that it is much more than what we had invested. And we're definitely in a happy situation there.
Okay. Have you already roped in Rothschild for that? Is that?
Yeah, Rothschild is there and they're running the process.
Also wanted to ask you, how much are you, since you said that, all of it cannot be divested, obviously, in the at the 12th hour, there would be a sort of maybe a glided path to that. How much are you looking to divest in the first tranche and then, maybe follow it up with the other tranches?
It all depends on what kind of offer we get. We are open either ways. See, as far as the regulation is concerned, you can't do more than 5% without taking the regulator's approval. So that is always a consideration. At any point of time, you can only sell less than 5%. That's regulation. So you take the approval and then you can sell
Also,
more.
it's not true that you're looking at a 10 to 25%
No, you can
divestment
always
at
take
one
a
go.
approval and then sell it.
Okay, that
Or
option
it could be
exists.
5 people buying less than 5.
I see. Okay.
So all permutation combinations.
So which is it? I mean, which is the
So
one
right
that
now
you are
the
looking at?
process has started as we find buyers and we'll take a decision. So it's two things. One is the valuation bit, obviously. The second is, are they the right fit? Because we intend to hold 10%. Okay, so we are a long-term player, and that entity has to get listed also. So we have to see that it matches everyone, and we have to see incoming investors' interest also. Are they financial investors, strategic investors? So everyone looks at the investment in a different way. A financial investor would look at very differently, may take a small stake and look at monetizing at some point in time. A strategic investor might look at from the point of view of the capabilities of Unity and how it can add value to their own business. So all these discussions are on. Have we found anyone as yet? No. Rothschild is running the process, and as and when we are required, we will go and start talking to them.
Considering that you have about 49% stake in Unity right now, in the first block or the first tranche, how much are you looking to divest? Whether it is, through less than 5%, maybe multiple investors, strategic investor, financial investors coming in, or maybe one person, one block. Whatever that permutation and combination is, realistically speaking, in, let's say, over the next 12 months, how much are you looking to divest in the first tranche?
So it should be a double-digit number in a 12-month period.
Let's talk about the big event up ahead, which is the union budget. What is the mood in the fintech industry, and what are the key demands, key asks for the fintech sector?
So obviously there are certain operational things that the fintech, and we had a meeting with the DFS just a week back. A lot of things, more operational, but I would also say that some good things that came out and some big things that we spoke about there is if there can be some support to the fintech from the government side, funding wise, whether it's a debt or equity. So if that can be done, a little bit more flexibility in providing debt from bank side to fintech, those kind of things should be there. There were some things raised on treatment of ESOP as an expense, etc. From a taxation perspective, those things were there. And then operational challenges, etc., that certain regulations, etc., which are still in the pipeline, sooner they get.
In particular, is there anything?
Draft PA guidelines discussed, so there was this thing as to when it is coming. So eagerly awaiting that as well. And would definitely like see startup has done, and fintech specifically have done quite a lot of things for the country. I would say that if we get some kind of support, we can do wonders. Especially when the investment climate is somewhat subdued, if I can say that, compared to what it was 2-3 years back. If at this point of time there is some support available from the government for fintech. See, some of us are mature and at a different stage. Some of there are young fledgling ones. They definitely need support. And we are a large country, large population. Why should only people from outside fund us? There should be enough and more available within the country, and not just from the government side. Just make the policies. There are enough and more, money available within the domestic that can help these, startups to go and do wonders. And why should we not produce startups which are world class and go and do business in the other? Why should it be that people from outside are investing and only for India? No, we would definitely like. And I saw that thought process in that conversation, that why shouldn't we support? And I would say that if there are some things available in the union budget for this, again, not just, I would say union budget is just one point of time this thing. This is government policies over a period of time also. Even if it's not part of the union budget, if it's part of the policies, that will be more than welcome.
So one of the big things that you talked about was providing supports for more funding, more capital to be available. How can the budget help in that? Are there specific things that can be done through the budget?
Some allocation, some change in this thing. And like I said, budget is only an event. These are more policy framework and something to build over a period of time. something can come in the budget side and something can come over a period of time. Like even now, one of the things that is there as part of the budget is the so-called MATI incentive, which used to be earlier, now it's called DFS. The support that we get on the payment side, we would say that that should continue for some more time because there is no other revenue available on the payment side. So one would say that. So these things which are specific to budget and only for a period of 1 year, those should come in the budget, and the longer policy decision should come as part of the policies, and if that can be considered.
Let's turn to the big debate in the industry now, the 90-hour work week. There has been a lot of controversies, viewpoints, in fact, on both the sides on the comments made by Mr. S.N. Subramanian. Do you believe that such expectations are sustainable for employees? And where do you weigh in on this debate? Do you think there should be a 90-hour, because it is a debate after all, it is a discussion on whether or not it should happen. And as India looks to being a developed nation, because that is one of the arguments that is being put forth, people need to put that extra effort. Where do you weigh in on that debate of 90 hours?
First is, I do not know the reference to context because, see, I only read bits and pieces of it. What was the reference, what was the context, one does not know. I'll just stick to what I know and what I would like to do. Quality is paramount, not the quantity. 90 hours is quite a number of hours to put in and becomes very, very difficult. So I would say quality. And the way to do is, and see, there is always a debate about work-life balance, that how much should you work and how much you should give to your personal life, etc. And whatever you do, you spend inordinate number of hours in the office. And if you can just see our office, what we've tried to do is, make it pleasant, make it comfortable, you feel relaxed, and you give the output. And that's what we've been trying to do. That work-life balance starts at work also. And when it starts here, if somebody goes home also, and if there is some requirement, the person will take care of that from the home. Will I ask him at 12 o'clock in the night or 2 o'clock in the night? No, I'm not. I'm sure it can wait till morning. But would that person do on his own because he or she has some deadline to it? Up to them, and perhaps they would because they're so motivated for it. Are we asking them to do? We're definitely not asking them. So for me, the quality matters, and what we are trying to do, because we are a young organization, okay? A young organization can go in culture and growth and a career trajectory in a very, very different ways because you have different people. Larger companies have built this over a period of time, okay? And they have people and they attract talent of a similar nature, cookie cutter approach, and because that's how the company is and that's how it attracts. We are an amalgamation of different sorts of people. What we are trying to build a culture which is not rigid, but I am definitely, and I'm saying that although we are 6 years old, I would definitely like BharatPe to be known as an employee-friendly company also, and a company that offers careers to people, not jobs. So our focus is on that. Specifically on the working hours, no such this thing. I don't think so. 90 hours is possible. I certainly don't work 90 hours. Do I work all 7 days? Yes, you work on Saturday, Sunday also. But do you come to office? Do you meet people? No, not really. If I can meet someone,
it for others?
no, not at all. We are a 5 days a week and Saturday, Sunday. But if there is something important, I don't even have to ask. People would have done it. Do you want people to come to office? I would ideally like yes, because I think sometimes on Teams or Zoom call, you end up spending many hours trying to figure out what the other person is speaking. A 2-minute conversation actually solves it. And I also feel that younger generation learns a lot when they work with people. You pick up so much when people. That is something that I want. People should come to office, work through, but I am appreciative of the fact that there is traffic and there is parking problem. But more people come to office, that's what I like. But no mandate on, you work 90 hours or this. No.
Mr. Negi, I wanted to ask you one thing before I let you go. Is it not only are you a new organization, but you're also employing very young employees, right? What would be the average age at BharatPe? I'm sure
it should be 28, 29.
Right. Is there a need for employers to also change their mindset as the mix of of employees changes? Have you been able to do that? How do you measure productivity if not through work hours?
So, very great question. When I started my career, my expectation from employer were very different. And now what I see, when you go around this office, you'll find that we have a barista right at the entrance. We have pool table, we have first ball, and we're trying to build a gym as well. These are part and parcel. We offer snacks in the evening to people also. So there's a different mindset of people. An happy employee will give you a lot. Like I mentioned earlier, that you don't have to tell a person to respond to you at 2 or 12 in the night. Someone who's involved and enjoying his job, his or her job, if they have something, they will do it. You don't even have to follow it up. But yes, at the same time, when I say this, people also need to be helped and nurtured. It's a younger generation, the thought process is different, totally accept that. But also as seniors, we have to say that the growth of the company is like this, and can there be a mix of the two things? And that's what the job of people side of our organization is concerned, that how do you do. When I started my career in the companies that I worked for, certain things we never had. I look at this, we have pet adoption leave, we have different type of thing. I'd never heard of something like that. But I see that this is what the new generation likes it, and I say that why not? We should also do that. We have to become like them to a large extent, and they will also see our point of view from their side. That I do at the home also, no different at the office.
Mr. Negi, will AI and these new technologies at some point of time reduce the level at which companies hire, including fintech companies?
It should be certain repetitive work, definitely. But then human brain is quite capable of doing other things. And without AI also, we've done quite a lot of things. So there is a lot of scope. AI also has a lot of scope, but I'm pretty sure that human brain also has a lot of scope. Ideally, the repetitive, tedious, something that can be done without too much of supervision should go towards AI, etc. The creative side will remain with the people side. Let's just take an example of BharatPe, whatever we've gone there. Could we have done if we had an AI doing all these things? I think we need human element. We need people's brain to be doing that, and the emotion management. All these things are also important. So certain jobs, definitely, but many other jobs would get created. Perhaps we'll make a better world, the combination of the two.
Mr. Nalin Negi, it was wonderful speaking to you, sir, on all of these topics. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot, Mamita. Great being here, and thanks a ton for taking the time out for this.